Hey guys, so today we have a lot of books to go through. I'm talking about a lot. So first I'm going to show you some books from Book Outlet I got like, I don't even know how long ago, but I've been saving these for you guys. So the first one I got was Dangerous Girls by Abigail Haas, I think that's how you say it. Got this a while ago. So this is about two girls who go to Aruba, and I think one is kidnapped or something, like she goes missing or something, and Kat from Catvella told me she really enjoyed this, and I think I'll really like it because I'm really into this kind of thing. The next one I got was You Are One of Them by Elliot Holt. This has been on my wish list forever, and I was so excited when I saw it on Book Outlet. So this is about two girls who write to the Soviet premier, and one girl gets a response and she becomes literally an international sensation, and the other girl never gets a response. So then Jenny, the girl who gets a response, ends up dead with her family a few years later, and 10 years later, Sarah, the girl who didn't get a response, is kind of suspicious of whether this girl Jenny is really dead or if it's all a big cover-up. So I'm really excited for this. It's adult fiction, and yeah, I will let you guys know what I think of it. Then, as you saw in my September wrap-up, I got Into the Darkest Corner by Elizabeth Haynes, and I enjoyed it so much that I ordered Human Remains by her too, and it seems like it's just as suspenseful. And this is about this girl who finds out her neighbor's decomposing body is sitting literally in the house still. And it doesn't make sense that no one noticed that she was gone. I don't think this girl has any friends or anything. I think that's what it was about, but it sounds good, and I'm really excited to read this. And then I got If We Survive by Andrew Klavan, and he has a couple books on Book Outlet, but this one sounded really good. These friends go to Central America on a mission trip, and then I think it seems like a natural disaster hits, maybe an earthquake or, I don't know. It seems like in the picture some natural disaster hits, so really excited for this one. And then, as you saw in my September wrap-up, I got Big Fish by Danielle Wallace, so if you want to hear my thoughts on this one or Into the Darkest Corner, I will link my September wrap-up below. And then, I don't know why, but I had to get this, and it's The Iron Thorn by Caitlin Kittredge. I've had my eye on this for a while at the library. I've checked it out a few times but never got to it, and it just sounds really good, and I had to get it. And then also for my September wrap-up, but I haven't hauled it yet, If You Find Me by Emily Murdoch, and awesome book. Really enjoyed it. It was like a one-day read, and like I said before, check out my September wrap-up, which I'll link below if you want to know my thoughts on this. And then I got Slayers by CJ Hill, and I don't know why I got this, but it just sounds really good. It has dragons in it, so. And then I got Lord of Opium. I haven't read the first book, but this was $5 on there. And then I got Mexican White Boy by Matt de la Peña. Really enjoyed his writing from what I read from The Living, so had to get this one too. So this is super late, but I got And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie from Alyssa for Christmas, I want to say, but I don't think I ever hauled it. I've been wanting to read this for a really long time, and I think I'll be reading it before the year ends. And then my boyfriend got me The House of the Scorpion by Nancy Farmer. He got this for me, I think, a couple months ago. I just never hauled it. But I think I bought the sequel before he bought me this. But the sequel was just so cheap, so now I will definitely be reading this one and moving on to the sequel. So these next two books were from review. I haven't gotten to them yet, but I will get to them. Max, he sent these to me for review from the publishing company he was interning at this summer. And the first one is Eat That Frog, 21 Great Ways to Stop Procrastinating and Get More Done in Less Time by Brian Tracy. And I actually feel like I really need to read this because I always procrastinate, and I was a really bad procrastinator in high school, but not as much in college, but now I am because I feel like I'm not getting anything done except for going to work. And yeah, so I'll definitely be reading this and sharing my thoughts on this when I read it. And then he also sent me Affluenza, How Overconsumption is Killing Us and How to Fight Back. So I'm really interested in reading this, and I just like nonfiction in general, so I will be putting up my thoughts on this too when I get to it. And then more books I never hauled. Just an Ordinary Day by Shirley Jackson. These are all short stories by Shirley Jackson. Really enjoyed We Have Always Lived in the Castle, I think that's the title. And I decided to get this at a used bookstore that I stopped by in on my way home maybe like a year ago. I just never got to haul this. I've had my eye on this and I saw on Amazon that it was like $25 or something, and I was like, I'm not paying $25 for a paperback. But I found it at the used bookstore for $6. And then also at that bookstore I picked up Skeletons on the Sahara by Dean King, and this is a true story of survival where I showed this in one of my videos. It's where these sailors are captured by desert nomads, I think I want to say. They go through some torture and this long journey across the desert, and like I said before, I really like nonfiction and I'm really excited to read this. And then from Book Outlet too, that I forgot to show, I got Attachments by Rainbow Rowell, and I've only read Fangirl, so I feel like everyone's read all her books, but I haven't yet. And then I got Still Missing by Chevy Stevens. This is an adult fiction book, and it sounded like my kind of book, really. It's about this lady, she's having an open house for her house. Last minute, this guy comes and he wants to see the house, but he ends up kidnapping her. I love me some kidnapping books, so I had to have this. And then I got Sisterhood of Traveling Pants by Anne Brashares, and I've never read this series, I think. I really like these covers and I wanted to get the first one, and then I didn't want to go all out and get all 4 of them because we all know that I wasn't going to get to it anytime soon, but when I get to this and read it, I will read the rest of the series. And then I got Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wein, and I own Rose Under Fire, and a couple months ago I found out that it was like a companion to this one, so I feel like I need to read this one first. So really excited to get to this. I've heard really good things about it. And then I got Until You're Mine by Samantha Hayes, and this is another adult fiction book, and it's like a suspense thriller. This couple hires a babysitter and she becomes obsessed with the family, how they live, and she basically wants to take over. So I feel like she is gonna try to harm the mom or something. And then, of course, never hauled this, I got Landline by Rainbow Rowell. And then I got The Miseducation of Cameron Post by Emily Danforth. Got this a very long time ago. Now I'll show you a couple books from BEA that I really think I'll read, because I feel like the other ones I might not read or might not get to, and I've already donated some of them because I feel like I grabbed some of them just because they were free. So these are ones that I really think I'm gonna get to. The first one that I got there was The Truth About the Harry Quebert Affair by Joel Dicker, and I actually got more interested in reading this after I saw Liz Loves Literature pick this up, and it just sounded really good from what she said, so I decided to keep this one. So I think it's gonna be really good. The next one I picked up there was Last Winter We Parted by Fuminori Nakamura, and this one was about this death row inmate who murdered 2 women, and he was really crazy, and he was a photographer, and I think he burned them alive or something. I don't know, but I'm really into things relating to prison and stuff. I find it really interesting, so yeah. And then I have The Life We Bury by Alan Eskins, and this one is about this guy. He has a writing assignment for English. He interviews this guy and he finds out that this veteran is a convicted murderer. I think they go back and they take a journey like back in time and try to find out, like, I think he tries to find out if this guy really did it or if he was framed or something like that. I know it sounded interesting, so I kept this one. And then before I got to BEA, Christine and Phil were kind enough to pick me up some things, and they picked up for me Night Sky by Suzanne Brockman and Melanie Brockman. This one sounded really good too, so I had to keep this one. And then I picked up The Wall City there by Ryan Groudon, and there was a bunch of lines to get books autographed and get the ARC for free, and this line was completely empty, so I was like, why not? I went in line, and I think this one is signed, yeah. This one's signed, and it comes out, it says November 2014, but I feel like it comes out in October. I saw that Max from Well Done Books talked about this one, and he said he really enjoyed it, and I feel like he doesn't read that much YA, so I trust his opinion, and him and Liz, I trust both of their opinions because they don't read that much YA, and when they do, I feel like it's gonna be a really good book. So I'm really excited to get to this. So this next book better be good because I stood in line for like an hour and a half, and this was one of the books that I stood in line for, and it is Talon by Julie Kagawa, and it sounded amazing. Dragons, friggin', it sounds amazing, and it better be. But I got this signed, and I literally will be so disappointed if this isn't good, but I will be reading this soon, maybe this month or next month. And then this line was empty too, but the book sounded really good and it was nonfiction, so had to do it. And it is Dangerous Odds, My Secret Life Inside an Illegal Billion-Dollar Sports Betting Operation by Marissa Lancaster. And I really like memoirs and nonfiction, like I said, so I feel like I'm gonna really like this one, and she was really nice, and it seems like her book is gonna be really interesting. And she signed it, so I will be reading this one, maybe not this year, maybe next year, but I will be keeping it. So I think those were all the books. Many more book hauls to come. I'm talking about many more, especially my birthday book haul one. So that is it for this haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am like out of breath and my mouth is dry from this, but I will see you guys later. Bye.